Thank God it is Friday. And I sense a wonderful weekend coming soon. Are you smelling the weekend coming close to you? Good morning, viewers. And it is my pleasure to welcome you to another episode of Now Streaming, coming to you from ACNN TV. I am Promise Injaku Adibe, your anchor this morning. And I have with me in the studio the Venerable Joseph Onwanyan JP. He is the Director, Civic and Political Affairs of the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, and he is also the chaplain to the National Assembly. I also have the Reverend Canon Fortune Billy Jonathan. He is the Director and the Chaplain, Intergovernmental Affairs, Church of Nigeria, Diocese of Kubwa, still Anglican Communion. Good morning, my fathers in the Lord. This time around, I can't say gentlemen. It's good to have you on the
Fathers in
show.
the Lord are gentlemen.
Okay.
Good morning.
Okay, it's good to have you.
Good
It's good to
morning.
have
The
you.
name is
Having me.
Future.
Future
Not
Billy. Yeah.
14.
Thank you.
Thank
you
you
for
very
that. I almost changed your name. Okay, viewers, joining us virtually all the way from Oyo State is Commander Olayinka Jofadile. He is the NDLEA Commandant Oyo State. Viewers, remember to share the link with everyone around you. And yes, feel free to call in using the number showing on your screen, or you can send us your comments or questions via any of our social media platforms also showing on your screen. Now, the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking is a United Nations sponsored event observed annually on June 26th of every year. The day was established in 1987 to raise awareness about the devastating effects of drug abuse and illicit drug trafficking on individuals, communities, and societies worldwide. I am still your anchor, Promise Njoku Adibe. And then, viewers, we will be marking the celebration of the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking with the theme for this year: the evidence is clear. Invest in prevention. I'll take that again. The evidence is clear. Invest in prevention. It was held on Wednesday, 26th of June, and then today is Friday. We definitely have to talk about it because it's something ravaging the society, and Nigeria is not out of it. Our guests will be educating us on the topic before us. And still with me in the studio are the Venerable Joseph Onwanyang, JP, and also Reverend Canon Future. Did I get right?
Yeah.
Future Billy Jonathan. And I also have with me virtually, all the way from Oyo State, Commander Olayinka Jofadile. He is the Commander of NDLEA Oyo State. It's good to have you, Commander Jofadile, finally. How is Oyo State this morning? Okay. Unfortunately, I can't hear him clearly. So, well, oh yeah, he's fine. Yeah, he's really looking very well. He's looking looking well. So now I just want to start with, me now. I have a lot of questions. So let me now ask. Can you give us? I know we've had a talk on drug abuse a particular time early this year. We had a talk on drug abuse. So can you give us just a recap of what drug abuse and illicit drug trafficking are, and then also your thoughts regarding the theme for this year, which is the evidence is clear. Invest in prevention. Can you unmute your mic? Can you unmute your mic, Commander? Are you
Oh,
there with me?
yes.
Okay,
Um,
beautiful.
yes, it's unmuted now.
Okay, so did,
Can
did
you
you
hear
hear my
me?
question?
The
I
mic,
said, can you
the
give
mic is
us a
unmuted.
recap?
I
I
heard the
know we've talked
question.
about drug abuse.
I heard your
So can you
question.
give
I
us
heard
a
your question.
recap of what drug abuse
NDLA
and
says
illicit drug
NDLA says drug
trafficking
abuse.
are? And
Drug
also
abuse
your
is
thoughts regarding the theme for this year, which says the evidence is clear. Invest in prevention.
drug abuse is when you any chemical substance, even pharmaceutical preparations, in a manner that deviates from the medically approved and socially acceptable pattern of use. That is drug abuse. And in 2011, Olabayo defined drug abuse as the use of illicit drugs or abuse of prescription or over-the-counter drugs for purpose other than those indicated or in a manner or in quantities other than directed.
Okay.
And illicit trafficking is when you move from point A to point B with controlled substances and you don't have government authorization to do so. If I, as an NDLA commander in Oyo State, if I decide to put 10 kilograms of cocaine in my car and I'm driving to Abuja without proper authorization from the approved authority, which is my headquarters, it translates to illicit trafficking. But at that point, I don't have the authorization to move those drugs.
Mm.
Then the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, like you said, started, it was decided on December 7th, 1987 by Resolution 42/112 of the General Assembly of the United Nations. They decided to observe June 26th of every year as International Day Against Drug Abuse and Trafficking as an expression of its determination to strengthen action and cooperation to achieve the goal of an international society free of drug abuse. That was the purpose, and that still is the purpose. And every year, the United Nations comes up with a theme
Mm.
that we run with for the whole year. And this year, they came up with the theme, the evidence is clear, invest in prevention. And the theme for this year calls, um, calls us to raise awareness more. What we are doing now is raising awareness. It's asking us to raise more,
Mm.
do more awareness. For instance, in Oyo State, in the last 1 year, we've raised awareness in over 587 places, locations, and we're able to reach over 100,000,
Wow.
over 100,000 people within the space of 1 year, and we're still doing more
Mm.
on a regular basis. And we do TV programs, we do radio programs, we do awareness and talk to people in places of worship, in schools, in mosques, churches, tertiary institutions, primary institutions, motor parks, places of work, wherever we are given the platform, we are ready to talk to people and raise awareness. We've been to several churches, several places, and spoken to diverse demography of people, youth, kids, adults, out of school kids. And the second thing that this World Day calls us to do is to advocate for investment, to look for people to invest in prevention. How do you invest in prevention? For instance, we have faith-based rehabilitation centers. You can invest in a faith-based rehabilitation center, which the ACNN will be a silent supervisor of. You come there periodically to make sure that things meet up to international standards. And the church employs the managers and the counselors, the rehabilitators, and all that. We don't control who they employ and how things are done, but to make sure that it meets up with international standards. Then other ways of investing in prevention is, but we can put up a billboard. We can start up an NGO that specializes in awareness. There are a few NGOs come to us and they present their programs to us. We give them IEC materials, we support them with personnel, we go on walks with them, we do talks with them, and we reach a lot of people through those means. Then the day also calls us to empower community. How do we empower community? We go to educate the leaders of the community so that they in turn, after being educated, can go back and educate the people. They can talk to their people. The community leaders can reach much more than we can reach.
True.
The people listen to them easily more than they will listen to us. So this year calls for us to involve community, empower the community to go around and help us to invest in prevention. It also says we should facilitate dialogue and collaboration. Dialogue with the stakeholders, collaboration with the stakeholders. Those who have not been brought on board should be brought on board. Then we should promote evidence-based policy making. We should advise government on policies that should be made to help prevention, presenting to them empirical evidence. Like the team says, the evidence is there. We are to present this evidence to government to tell them these are the evidence, this is the way we should go. So we should be giving them evidence to help them in making policy. Then we should engage the communities as well. After empowering the community, we engage with them
Okay.
on awareness. We can do talks, we can do public lectures, and all sorts. Then we are also called this year to empower the youth, provide them with knowledge and skills,
Mm-hmm.
make them resource persons, make them are resource agents. We've been doing that, but the demography or the group we've captured mainly are those in the youth service camp. Our staff are all over the country in youth NYC camps, and we have what we call the War Against Drug Abuse. WADA club. People join. In most cases, when you go to the camp will be saying in your state, the WADA group is the largest group, and the kids that are in the WADA group are doing a marvelous job. They are well empowered. They are going around. They do their thing. They arrange talks. They arrange lectures. They arrange awareness, and of course, we support them.
Okay.
Then the World Day of this year calls us again to promote international cooperation. Like international cooperation, look for people that can support us from within and outside.
Okay.
Bring in everybody. The drug war is a war that needs all hands to be on
On
deck.
deck. Okay.
It's not something for NDLA to do alone or the police to do alone.
Yeah, very, very true. I agree with you. It's not something. It's really a war that needs everybody's cooperation and togetherness. So I just want to ask, what specific drugs are most commonly abused in Nigeria, and what are their sources? I also want to ask how effective the Nigerian's current drug enforcement laws and policies in combating drug abuse and illicit drug trafficking. How effective are those laws enforced? These three questions together.
Well, drugs that are mainly abused in Nigeria now, it used to be cocaine, heroin, but we've migrated to Colorado, we migrated to Arizona, we've migrated to Laos. We have Canadian Laos, we have Ghanaian Laos. We've migrated to non-conventional drugs. These ones are mind-blowing. You find people sniffing platoon. You find people soaking lithium in dry gin. You find people smoking dry pawpaw leaf. Some cook dry pawpaw leaf and drink. You find people drinking 10 days urine, fermented urine.
Hey.
You find people putting chlorine bleach in lacacera, methylated spirits in codeine, tom-tom in lacacera, methylated spirits in coke, pyrogera that grows where water is stagnated, dry pawpaw leaf, all sorts of things. You find people smoking rubber solution. Those are all the kind of things that people smoke now. Those that cannot afford the expensive ones go for the non-conventional ones. In the north, we have things like black leaf. Those are generally found growing wildly everywhere, and it's psychoactive. And for Colorado and Arizona and Laos, which are the big boys on the block now, you discover that Colorado, which is called on Colos. Colorado was actually made in a lab. It's a more potent version of cannabis, and a gram of Colorado sells for like 10,000 naira, whereas a gram of cannabis sells for 500 naira. So the difference is clear. Then the loud, Canadian loud, was actually manufactured in a factory in Canada in a lab. It was supposed to be a lab chemical used to test the effect of THC, that's delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol, the active substance in cannabis, to check the effect on the human body. And somehow it found its way to the. Now we have Ghanaian loud as well. And those are drugs that destroy the body seriously. I like the way Google explained it in 2008. Google says the moment you take drugs, trillions of potent molecules surge through your bloodstream and into your brain. Once there, they set up a cascade of chemical and electric reactions or events, a kind of neurological chain reaction that ricochets around the skull and rearranging the interior reality of the brain. That is what all these drug types do. When they get there, they knock about your brain and they rearrange it. And of course, when chemicals rearrange the brain away from the reality, there's a big problem.
Very big.
Sorry, the third question you attached to this, I can't quite remember.
Okay, I said, how
The drug
effective
laws, yes.
are the current drug enforcement laws
Are
and
they
policy?
efficient?
Yeah, very efficient.
Well, the current drug laws, they are efficient, but you can do better.
Hmm.
And I'm glad to tell you that there are amendments in the pipeline. And of course, since it's a process in the National Assembly, it's, we won't talk about it until it comes out. We don't know
Okay.
what the final work will be. I'm not privy to what the initial draft of the initial bill is. My headquarters did that, and from what we hear, it's going to be the benefit, and it will make NDLA much more stronger than it currently is. But with the present law, it's also effective depending on the judges that apply the laws. In our case here, we have people that have been sentenced to 28 years in prison based on the current law.
Okay.
And we have those that are sentenced to 3 months, some from date of arrest. And the prosecution rate here in the last 1 year, we were able to prosecute of the 554 that we arrested, 554,000 that were arrested, we were able to prosecute 56.
Hmm.
Others are awaiting trial. And within that range, we have the youngest is 16 years old, the oldest is 72 years old.
Wow.
And the jail term ranges from 3 months to 28 years, as I told you. So the laws are effective, but we can do better. And I'm glad to tell you that we are doing better.
Okay.
Better laws will come out, and we'll be the better for it. Thank you.
Amen. The Punch newspaper some days back published a news and said drug abuse now common among high-profile Nigerians, and actually that's a lamentation from NDLEA, from you people. So I just want to now ask, what are the challenges faced by you people, the Nigerian law enforcement agencies, in tracking and dismantling drug trafficking organizations, especially now that you are lamenting that the drug abuse is now common among the high profile people?
Drug abuse among the high profile is not new, it's not a recent phenomenon. class, business class. We have technocrats, captains of industry that take jobs. We have people in the church that take jobs, people in the mosque. We have academia, members of the academia that take jobs. It's everywhere. Most of these people started taking jobs while they were in the tertiary institution, and they continued thereafter. And many of them take drugs, and they are used to the quantity they take that you don't see them misbehave. They take academic drugs, expensive ones, sophisticated ones, and they don't misbehave. Now tracking them and arresting the traffickers, because the man that's taking drugs is a sick person. He's not a criminal, and if he comes into our office, all we do is counseling, rehabilitation, social integration. We don't arrest them, we treat them like sick people that require help. So if the user comes in, we counsel, we rehabilitate, we integrate socially. But we are looking for those who deal to them. The difficulty in doing that for us at present is partly the social media. The social media has been shielding a lot of people from arrest. My patrol team on Lagos Ibadan Expressway arrest a lot of drugs coming into Ibadan. We build. We just tag a number on it and a name. And by the time we investigated, we discovered that who comes to pick it up is a delivery man, a bike. And the minute you try to track the bike, the main consignee is somewhere watching. Once he sees you tracking the bike, he leaves the consignment and disappears. And you cannot hold the delivery man responsible.
Mm-hmm.
Then on further investigation, we discovered that now the social media is being heavily used for advertising, purchasing, and monitoring delivery, especially Instagram. They have a close group in Instagram where people are invited to, and once they are there, they see all assorted jobs being advertised. You pick whatever you want, you pay into the bank account, you drop your address, it ships to you. So within the comfort of your house, just the same way we find bike delivery people bringing pizza and food to us in the house. Now they bring drops to the house. You just step out of your gate and pick it up. So that makes it a bit difficult. And the technocrats and the big men know the stigma attached to drugs. So they have layers and layers of between them and the dealers. Before the drug gets to them, it has passed through layers and layers and layers. They have laundered it so much that you can hardly link them with the drugs purchased on the street. But that does not conclusively say we cannot get them arrested. That does not say we cannot get their dealers arrested. Many of their dealers have been arrested periodically. They shift to other dealers. We'll continue to make efforts towards that. And in terms of manufacturing, in terms of production, on a daily basis, we destroy farms, we destroy factories. In Oyo State here, for instance, in the last 1 year, we destroyed 2 farms, over more than 1 hectare of land. We destroyed close to 4,000 kilograms of cannabis on that land.
Wow.
And we are in the process of getting more. This is the plant system. We're in the process of getting more. And while we're doing that, we're also going after factories that produce these drugs. A few months back, we raided and destroyed Squishy's factory in Monia. People will tell you that Squishy is tablet beverage. It's not. Squishies, Squishies start by boiling cannabis in a big pot, like the way the Nigerians prepare agbo.
Mm.
And while boiling overnight, it extracts all the chemicals in the herb. And cannabis contains almost about 1,000 chemicals. So it's all is all drained off, and then the chemical, the leaves are removed. Then the producer adds any kind of psychoactive or pharmaceutical drugs they can lay their hands on. Tramadol, phenol, dophenol, anything. So after doing that, of course, it's no more palatable. Then they add plenty black currant to make it sweet and to change the color to purple.
Ah,
So you find our youth taking this.
Nigerians.
In most cases, they even add like, yes, they add things like ketamine.
Oh
And
God.
ketamine is actually a horse tranquilizer. Ketamine is a horse tranquilizer, and it's what is called day trip drug because it just erases your memory. And the painful thing about ketamine is that when administered to a female, it permanently sterilizes her irreversibly. And we find many of our young female undergraduates leave the schools and go to the villages to feed this thing to themselves. And maybe in another 5, 10 years, they are married and they discover that they have problems bearing children. They will not link it to the crop of species they planted 10 years back.
Hmm.
So,
Wow.
like I was saying, we destroy those factories. Nationwide, we are locating and dismantling methamphetamine factories. Some Brazilians came in and Bolivians came in and they taught Nigerians to cook methamphetamine. And there are factories, especially in the east.
Mm.
There are factories in Lagos. We are locating other factories. And the dangerous thing about this factory is the effluent coming out from them and the way that is dumped into a pit percolates into the groundwater and goes into the wells in the surrounding area. So people in the surrounding area drinking well are drinking those dangerous substances that are
Oh
flowing
my
into the
God.
ground. Then people around there that are breathing in the air are breathing in carcinogenic effluent coming from those factories. And painfully enough, one of the factories discovered and dismantled already in Lagos was discovered to be next door to a private nursery and primary school.
Hi.
And these kids on a daily basis breathing this carcinogenic effluent from that factory. If the school uses the well, the chemicals that are also carcinogenic percolate into their water and they drink. And assuming the school has a population of 500, there are 500 kids that are exposed to cancer already because somebody wants to get rich.
Oh God.
Thank God we discovered the factory, we dismantled the factory, they are out of commission. So on a daily basis, we do that. We go around, we dismantle factories, and we stop drugs from moving around, trafficking, illicit trafficking of those drugs. Then the ones that get into town, we mop them up, we arrest people, take them to court. In the last 1 year, for instance, in Oyo, we've mopped up close to 5 tons of various kinds of drugs, cannabis, Colorado, and just name them, all sorts of drugs.
Well, well, this is so overwhelming. I don't know how best to react. Thank you very much, Commander Fadile. I still have a lot of questions for you, but then let me hold on. Let me get from some views from my guests in the studio here. Let me start with Canon Future Billy. He talked about awareness, and he talked about going to places of worship, churches, mosques, and all of that. Have we had such awareness created in the diocese of Abuja? And okay, your own diocese is Kubwa. Have you had such in your churches over there in Kubwa? Let
Yes,
me hear.
this
Okay.
this the NDLA is going around advocating and creating this awareness, disseminating education on the harmfulness of some of these drugs. And just like he has excellently analyzed, the man knows his job.
He does, yes, he
Kudos
does.
to him.
And yeah, viewers, that's a product of the Anglican Communion. He's an Anglican, and we're proud of him. We are so proud of you, Commander Jofadile.
So the thing is um by the privilege of this forum, I think it should also be hammered on that the drug war is such a serious war that there are international sponsors. Terrorist organizations are using this avenue to destabilize nations. Nigeria has been a target over a while, and I want to advise that the NDLEA, since it's a Nigerian thing now, should pay more attention on those who are definitely firing these arrows on the Nigerian youth. They have this intention to destroy the youthfulness and the cadre of the youth, because when that cadre is susceptible to drugs, they are susceptible to terrorism,
True.
susceptible to armed robbery, and all manner of criminal activities. So the NDLA, saddled with responsibility, has more war to fight. It's not
just a war for them alone.
It's not just a war for them alone.
everybody,
I
yeah.
agree. Which is why at the faith-based levels where we find ourselves, our tool is morality. We try to hammer on morality on our youth, on our children, telling them what the Holy Book says. The Holy Book does not support you
Taking drugs.
in involving and indulging in particularly these ones that turn you to colo mental. May God help us.
Amen. Venerable, do you agree that criminality, poverty, and unemployment rates in Nigeria, I'm looking at Nigeria now, has influenced the rise in drug abuse and illicit activities? Do you agree with that assertion?
Not criminality influencing it. I strongly believe that poverty is influencing it. Bad governance is influencing it. Unemployment is influencing it negatively. But the drug abuse itself is influencing the increase in criminality.
Okay.
Because when people are unemployed, they say the idle mind is the devil's workshop. When the economy is biting in an excruciating manner as it is now in the country, people find themselves in situations where they want to kind of take things that will help them.
But then those things don't. They just it's just temporal.
That is the deception. That is the deception in it. That when you feel that, you see many people going to beer parlor because there is problem at home, or maybe no money to pay school fees, and you feel tense.
And you know the irony, that 600-700 naira you're using to buy a bottle of beer can actually buy a loaf of bread.
Yeah, if you put it together and manage it well, it will help you to relieve yourself of that.
Nigerians were smarter than this.
Many people want to resort to all these things to help themselves, and they get themselves deeper into problem. So if this war is going to succeed, government have to wake up, leaders have to wake up, everyone have to join their hands together to continue to condemn it and continue to bring down things that fuel this drug abuse. Then when you see the level of insecurity in Nigeria, do you know that most of the criminal activities going on in Nigeria, a sane man, a normal man will not want to get himself involved with them. So they take this drug, and once they take this drug, you are not like human being in their eyes. And when they take this drug, they can tie person and be slaughtering him. They can tie person down, the person is dying, and they are negotiating for money without feeling the pain. So that is why I say even the drug abuse eating is influencing criminality in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Well explained. Commander, I'm back to you. Our time is fast spent, but then I just want to ask you one last question. What advice do you have for Nigerians? You know, we're looking at drug abuse this time around. What advice do you have for Nigerians on all cadre with regards to our topic today?
Well, I will start off by saying Ephesians 5:18 tells us, do not get drunk on wine,
You're quoting
which
the
leads to
scripture now.
debauchery.
Canon and venerable is
Instead,
here.
be filled with the Holy Spirit. Wine can be likened to drugs. Wine is also a drug. It is classified as socially acceptable and readily available. It
Hmm.
was classified like that in the Singles Convention of 1971 by countries that make money from alcohol and cigarettes. They removed alcohol and cigarettes from the list. Proverbs 21 tells us wine is a mocker, beer is a brawler. Whoever lays astray by them, whoever is led astray by them is not wise. So the Holy Book, like the Venerable tells us, is totally against it. The laws of the land is against it. Common sense is against it.
Hmm.
So why engage in it? Why engage in it? For those that are already in it, we have rehabilitation centers where they can quietly bring themselves to. We don't put signboards on them, we don't put flags on them, we don't wear uniform around them. So people that see you go in will not stigmatize you. And we don't treat you like a criminal, we treat you like a sick person that needs help. And we offer that help. After rehabilitation and counseling, we give you skills if you don't have a skill and education. It's called social integration. We will help you reintegrate back to society. But
Okay.
like in Oyo State, we've done over 300 rehabilitation or brief intervention this year. Right now, we have some with us. And for those who have not even started it, my honest advice would be not to even start.
Hmm.
Because when you get into it,
To
you
get
will get
out.
into trouble. There are four stages in drug abuse, drug dependency. There are four stages. If you are not careful, you will go through all the four stages without even knowing you are getting into something.
Okay.
The first stage is experimentation. When you go to a party and your friends tell you, "Ah, come and try it, there is no big deal. If they take am, we don't know where they take am." And you are like, no, they say they make it to mad. They tell you, am I mad? Am I run mad? And now they lure you into taking it to experiment. And you discover that it didn't really make it mad. At the experimental stage, some people get sick of it and they stop. Some get tolerant, their body tolerates it, and they move to the next stage, which is the casual use. The casual use stage now, when you go to places where drugs are being used, you don't even bother to be asked to take. Now you are used to it, you go to pick it up yourself. So you become a casual user. And from there you just slip into being a regular user. Now you use your own money to go out and look for the drug by yourself. Nobody brings it to you, nobody offers it to you. You are going out to look for it yourself. That is a red flag already. Because from regular use, people just slip automatically into dependency.
Okay.
And the person becomes a forgotten issue. And drugs, like you mentioned, it's not crime that leads to drug. Drug leads to crime.
Hmm.
In India, we say that drug is a catalyst for every criminal activity.
Yeah.
Drug oils criminal activity.
Okay.
It's drugs that will be in the person. When you see them in school, they are being abused. And he opens up his chest and facing front of policemen that they should shoot to the fear. Or if you pick up a firearm and go to jump into someone's house in the night, not knowing how prepared to hit against you. All these things are drugs, terrorism, kidnapping, banditry, all fueled by drugs.
Hmm.
So, in my opinion, if we can stop the rate of drugs in our society, criminality, violence, or not,
We go there.
Will reduce drastically.
Okay.
just keep crime.
Thank you
So,
very much,
and
Commander.
the Venerable also, Venerable spoke about us stopping drugs from coming in. So far this year, we stopped several drugs from coming into the port. Just in January, we stopped about 1 ton of marijuana and cocaine coming
Wow.
through the seaport to Lagos and many more. And the truth about drugs is there's no two ways to drug abuse. When you use drugs, it destroys your internal organs and it leads you to a quick and untimely and painful death.
Mm.
That is drug suffering. Quick untimely death after destroying internal organs. That is what every single drug has got.
Okay. Thank you very much, Commander Joe Fadile. It's been awesome. It's been an awesome time with you. We're so proud of you here in the studio and from ACNN. And we're so proud you're Anglican breed.
Yeah.
We're really, you know your onions, and we'll keep praying for you to keep excelling in bringing these people to
representing
justice.
us well.
Yes, he is. He is. Thank you. Okay, so let me come to you. Let me start with you, Canon Billy, in 30 seconds. What advice do you have for Nigerians with regards to the topic we just had now, drug abuse?
Drug abuse has never been right.
Mm.
The word abuse itself connotes that it is not right.
True.
So don't engage in what is not right. What you are doing to yourself or doing to the society or doing to those or your loved ones will be felt by them. The pain when at your demise or at your misfortunes. Nobody just sees fire and carries it on her hand and puts it inside to be burnt. It's the same thing. So that which will constitute abuse, stay away from
Stay
it.
away from it.
Stay away
Okay.
from it.
Thank you very much. Let me get your own last word. Your advice to
My advice is
Nigerians.
that it's better not to start it at all, because once you start, you get addicted, and that is a problem. And there's a very popular advert out there which says you are not the one using drugs, it's drugs that is using you.
you.
So
Very true.
avoid it. Don't allow anything to control your life. Jesus has given us freedom. We should not compromise that freedom.
Thank you very much, Venerable Unwaya and Canon Future Billy, for the privilege to have you here. It's
Thank
really
you.
an honor. Thank you so
You're
much for
welcome.
doing
Thank you.
justice to our topic here. Well, the truth is that drug abuse is not something you want to indulge in. That is why the international community have come out to celebrate this, and then they have aims. The aims of celebrating such a day, I had to outline them first. It's to raise awareness about the dangers of drug abuse and its impact on health, well-being, and socio-economic development. Now, the second aim is to encourage individuals and communities to take action against drug abuse and illicit drug trafficking. And the third aim is to promote drug education, prevention, and treatment programs. The fourth aim is to recognize the efforts of individuals, organizations, and governments working to combat drug abuse and illicit drug trafficking. And the last but not the least is to strengthen international cooperation and solidarity in the fight against drug abuse and illicit drug trafficking. So, my fellow people out there, my viewers, fellow youths, I strongly believe that by working together, we can prevent drug abuse, support those affected, and build a safer and healthier world for all. Please say no to drugs. I want to say a very big thank you to my director, my producers, Ms. Adeshewa, Mr. Godsent, Mr. Ebuka, Mr. Godwin, Mr. Regbe. Thank you so much for, making sure this program, runs smoothly. Thank you. And to my viewers out there, it's a wonderful weekend ahead for you. That's my wish. Bye-bye.